Hello and welcome to the Calmcast, a time to feel calm and think clearly. I'm Claire Downham, the Queen of Calm, a transformational life coach. I was a burnt out head teacher who finally made the journey to calm after years of trying, and I want to prevent you from having to do the same. The Calmcast is a series of short explorations, gently guiding you back to your natural state, which is calm and clarity. Just listen like you would listen to music, with an open mind and curiosity. There's nothing else to do. Now let's relax into today's episode. So, as you know, this period of time, I guess it's going to be a few weeks, I'm exploring confidence, which can seem like a really elusive thing often, I think. That is something that we have to get from the outside world. And so I thought I'd do a bit of research actually on how confidence is being defined out there in the world of, well, clearly in my case, the world of Google. That's where I've been looking. Other search engines are available, of course. And I found this lovely, this is from Wikipedia, I found this really lovely definition, which I've used the word really far too many times there, but I do really like this. So it says, and I'm gonna read you the definition. I am actually reading this. I've managed to get it up on my screen, sort of over the top of where I'm talking to you. And once I've read it, I'm going to kind of talk about it bit by bit. So it says, confidence is a state of being clear-headed, either that a hypothesis or prediction is correct, or that a chosen course of action is the best or most effective. Confidence comes from the Latin word fidere, which means to trust. And therefore, having self-confidence is having trust in oneself. And I guess mostly when I'm talking to you, I'm talking about what we would call self-confidence. Although I think most of the time now when we talk about confidence, we don't add the word self. It looks, doesn't it, like that word has just become applied to the self. That when we say I feel confident, we don't say I feel self-confident, we just say I feel confident. So my favorite part of this definition is confidence is a state of being clear-headed. And that's it, actually. The experience of being clear-headed can only ever bring about connection to our confidence. And that is because confidence is an innate trait. It's something that is always there. And I did also look up what innate meant. And it's something that's core to a person and remains relatively stable across a person's lifetime. And you might be screaming now at me, wherever you're listening to me or watching me, saying, well, my confidence certainly isn't. My confidence is definitely variable. It goes up and down like a yo-yo. It seems to be there one day and gone the next. What do you mean it's stable and consistent throughout my life? Well, it is. That innate trait, your innate confidence is always there. And when you have a clear head, you experience it. And when you think about that for a moment, what really is it when there is a lack of confidence? That there's a feeling, isn't there? Might be a feeling of anxiety, fear. I think that's probably it, really. That probably is the opposite of confidence, a feeling that you don't trust what's going on around you, things that look like they're going to affect you. But if you realize that feeling is coming from not having a clear head, that feeling is coming from your thinking about yourself mostly, but also perhaps a little bit about what you think, well, it's still about yourself, isn't it? What you think other people might be thinking about you. That's what covers it up. Like the idea that your confidence has gone somewhere, left you and needs to be built up or grown or whatever other words we tend to attach to confidence, it is just an illusion, because really, as your head clears, confidence naturally emerges. So I spoke a little bit about this in the last session when I spoke about Jude and Sam. I only just remembered their names then. They're both having exactly the same experience initially. They're both entering a networking event. They're both feeling a wobble, feeling anxiety, not wanting to go in, having a thought to leave. There's only one difference between them, and that is that Jude knows that there are some innate qualities that are there all the time, and Sam doesn't. Jude knows that the thinking's going to pass. It's not permanent. It's not a definition of who they are, and Sam doesn't. It's not that they are lacking, that one of them is lacking confidence and one of them has more confidence. It's just one of them believes their thoughts and feelings are a directive as to what they should do with their life, and the other one does not believe that. And what happens to Jude because of that is that there's a going into the networking event, and then as the thinking and the feelings pass, there's an ability to enjoy that. There's an ability to feel confident. There's an ability to just get on with what's happening in the present moment. Of course, if you listened to yesterday's session, you'll know that Sam ran away because that all those unpleasant feelings and the thinking that went with them looked to be true and looked to be giving a direction as to what Sam should do in the outside world. So it's the model that we have at the moment says it's lacking confidence or whatever other trait you wish. This whole season of sessions I'm going to do could be about pretty much anything, but confidence is what we're looking at the moment. No matter what trait it is, it's just covered up. All the things that you're looking for outside of you are inside you already. They don't come from the outside world. And a lot of the tools and techniques that people invite us to do kind of do help to reveal that. But the illusion is that they're putting it back in. And so then, unfortunately, we then get hooked into the tool or the technique thinking that, well, I need to keep doing this. And that was my trap for a very long time. I need to keep doing this in order to maintain my confidence. This is my thing. This is the thing that seems to reveal confidence to me, or if you're in the illusion that it's putting confidence in to you and it's not there already. But really, whatever you're doing is revealing it. And when you realize that, you realize there's a lot less to do than you thought. Confidence is innate. It's always been there. It's what we see in those little children who, I always jokingly say, they're the first ones on the dance floor at a family party or a wedding or whatever, because they don't care what anybody else thinks about them. It's just not important to them at all. They don't care. They're clear-headed. They're in the moment. They hear music. The music says dance. They go dance, because there's none of that noise in their heads. The course of action is a no-brainer for a small child when music comes on. I sometimes get drawn into watching Instagram reels, and there's lots of videos of children dancing, and there's just not the minute the music's on, the little bottoms wiggling about. It's just capturing them, and there's no thinker. There's no thinking going on. There's just music, and the natural response often for human beings is to dance. It's been that way since forever, hasn't it, really? But of course, for us, we're not clear-headed. We have a lot of thinking about how it's not okay to dance, how we're going to look stupid. And the thing to realise about all of that is that's just a conditioned response. It's a habitual response. It's a response that's grown like a dodgy line of programming. It's just developed because of the experiences that you've had as you've gone through life. And when you start to see that, the programming gets rewritten naturally. There's nothing to do. There's no fight to have anymore. There really is just the next step, the next thing to do. And without all that noise in your head, that becomes easier and easier. And why don't we, I'm thinking about that second bit of the definition, to trust. So therefore having self-confidence is having trust in oneself. Where have we learned not to trust ourselves? It doesn't really matter too much, but we have just learned not to trust ourselves, haven't we? And that seems to be a cause of it is the cause of us not connecting to our self-confidence. Because at some point we learned not to. We learned not to trust ourselves. We learned that a decision we made, for example, got us into trouble, got us in my case, in the 1970s, might have got me a clip round the earlobe or a smack bottom. So then that's locked in as a piece of learning. Not locked in as in it won't come out, but it becomes part of my program, a bit of a faulty line. So I come across a similar situation and my system goes, oh no, you can't do that. It's going to get you into bother. And that's it, really. That's all that's going on all the time, is a program running. But as you start to see that it is a program running, it does start to gently fall away. Day by day, actually, I've noticed. And still I keep seeing more of it falling away. Less noise in the head and more of that clear-headedness. And how you know you're there? Well, it feels good. That's it, really. Not that we should only feel good, but when your thinking is aligned with life, with presence, with now, it feels good. You're being guided all day, every day, and the more you see that, the more confidence will naturally emerge. So I hope you found that helpful. Lots of love. Talk again soon. Thank you so much for listening. There's nothing to do now but bring some awareness to how this is working out in your life. Listen regularly to experience longer and longer periods of calm. This has been the Calmcast with Claire Downham, Queen of Calm. Take care and keep listening.